Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. And yeah, we're kind of I'm on a roll getting back to these energy reads, hopefully. And boy, do we need them, because holy, there's just constant things happening, isn't there? Constant energy shifts, constant goings on in the world. It can be a lot right now. So I hope that you are surviving it well, able to sleep, able to do that self-care stuff. Um, I'm on the same boat ride as you, and yeah, my sleep's been not really great. It's starting to get back to being better, and then just just life has been pretty intense and a lot. So I hope I do hope from the bottom of my heart that you're surviving well out there, and just that this gives you a little bit of insight and light into what's happening, and we can all go through this together. So basically, we're just going to do the good old fashioned energy read today and see what the cards have to say to us. So let's start off with sort of an overall view of the energy with the Nature's Rhythm Oracle. Yeah, I can't say, like, it's an interesting space to be in because I'm still in the observer mode and just kind of watching everything happen. But man, is it interesting. There's just so much going on, and so much disclosure and so much revealed, and we knew this time was going to come. Oh, ooh, that one flipped. See how I did that? Woo. Okay. What did we get? Earth. This is interesting because I was listening to something else this morning too, and it was really talking about everything that's going on and how Mother Earth, you know, will potentially react to that, right? So let's have a look. Earth 42. So this would be also to look at the focus for our week, right? I am nurtured and cared for by Mother Earth. Yeah, so I think that's like probably just because as I was saying right in the beginning, when I'm talking and like free flowing like this, it's like it's a little bit of channeling coming through, right? I'm getting a little bit of like energy information and that from spirit. So um it's just, I think it's like really tapping into just say like you're okay. You're going to be okay. It may not, just looking at everything right now, it might be really overwhelming and a lot going on. Um but it's really important that everything's going to be okay, and you know, Mother Earth has your back. So I'm nurtured and cared for by Mother Earth. Mother Earth has absolutely everything we need for our health and well being. A tree will balance your emotional body by neutralizing worry and anxiety. The rivers, creeks, lakes, and oceans will cleanse and purify your spirit. The soil will infuse your physical body with negative ions that improve the natural function of your immune system. So this card confirms that you need to spend more time in nature. I mean, how many weeks now have we been getting this message? And I mean, I haven't really been able to do it. Or when I do go out in nature, it's just so quick and brief. I mean, the weather hasn't been awesome, but yeah, it's really we're really getting like the knock on the door, the tap on the back. Pretty soon we're gonna get the slap upside the head if we don't start listening. This card confirms that you need to spend more time in nature, disconnect to reconnect by plugging into Mother Earth. She's a living library of knowledge and wisdom. Yeah, and that's the thing is like, even if you might be stuck somewhere, like we've had on and off terrible weather storms and things like that, and snow, and so those days you definitely don't want to be like going out in your bare feet outside. So um just even like get yourself some flowers, a flower. You don't need to spend like a ton of money. Just go get a flower, put one in every room, and just do a meditation upon it, and look at its beauty. It's even like the one thing I've done, even though it said tune out, is I've been putting, you can see I've got a sunflower picture on the back there. um Oops. Sorry, I just realized there was a text on there too. you, Now you can see who I'm getting text from, and that person's probably going to watch this video and be like, ah, my name's on the screen. Anyway, So just even simple things like that. I know it sounds like, how would that even work? Um, Anytime you can appreciate nature is going to help you. So yeah, we might be like housebound and that kind of stuff right now, but find ways. Actually, the thing I did the other day was watch a documentary on hummingbirds. Look at that! I didn't even realize this was going to come up in conversation. Um, and just yeah, that really helped improve my mood because it was just like magical watching, how they function and things like that. So even if you just find like a really, good documentary about nature, obviously if you're trying to boost your spirits, don't watch, the circle of life ones where like there's hunting and killing and things like that. But make sure you're watching, you know, watch one on. I rediscovered someone the other day. I think his name is Louis Schwartzberger or something like that. Anyway, he popped up into my feed, and so I started following on Instagram. He does a lot of time lapse movies and photography, so that's kind of like that's a good reference to it. Like it's just really neat watching, especially like when you're waiting for stuff like spring to come and watching things bud and bloom and all of that. Like so, do your best to connect to nature this week in any way that you can, or just like infiltrate your life with it. Every little thing, like pictures of flowers and movies about documentaries about flowers. All right, what's the overall energy of this week? Oh, look at that nature. Boom. I know we haven't seen a ton of the sun lately, off and on, right? Depending on where you live. I think again the key is just kind of hammering home that we need to start paying attention to, instead of the little box here, this little box, tablets. What we really need to be doing is like focusing on the stars at night and the sun during the day if we can see it. Sometimes when we pull this card too, though, it's like it means we're gonna have some active like solar flares and things like that. So we'll see how that goes for the week. But again, the more than the sun speaking to me, it's all the nature in there, the flowers, the butterflies, the birds. So really reconnecting that to rewire yourself. Um, I think one of the key things that I've been noticing is and this is coming through in reads from like Lee Harris and Tim Wilde, so many others, is about really us focusing on regulating our nervous system, because right now with everything bombarding us, we're a little fried and we're a little fragile, and we're like, we can be on the edge, and that's the things that are keeping us from sleeping properly and eating properly or taking care of ourselves, and worrying too much and being in fear, right? Because that's the energy that they're trying to stoke up, and I mean, doing a hell of a job. So it's just really hard to pull yourself out of that sometimes. So, do your best. What this says is, I am blessed with the gift of life. I am free to create a life filled with joy, open and connected to God. So, yeah, as soon as, again, it's about mastering fear, right? Like conquering it. And we need to have a good deal of fear, right? Like we need that balance, the fear and the love. Like right now, but the whole key of that is balance, right? We have to create that balance for ourselves. And this card is just reminding us we are free willed, sovereign, connected to God, part of the God particle, all of the experience. We determine what happens to us, not the outside. So make sure we're creating a life filled with joy, right? And cultivating that. So again, nature, like, that's God's way of saying is like, I left you this tool. It's called nature. Like connect and use it and be one with it, right? So yeah, it's pretty critical right now that's what we're looking at doing. So whatever you can do to help regulate and rewire your nervous system. Nature's the easiest way, but it just might mean you just need more meditation, or to go for a float, or whatever we need to do. Oop, that one's sticking out. Okay. Okay, and so we got the context card. I always say this one is like I love this card because the dragonfly is a little bit at like throat chakra, but we have all the vibrant colors of the chakras kind of really opening up and being really expansive. So, um, what I'm getting from this is like context means is like it's almost like how we're interpreting or taking things, right? Or like how someone said something, the context of what they were saying. Um, so what I'm thinking though is like it's relating more back to these other cards. It's like it's almost like, oh, I hate to say it, but just ignore what everybody else is saying, because we're taking everything's being taken out of context right now, and it's not what we're supposed to be doing. It's really, there's so many distractions and things like that. So um, focus more on this, on the nature, on expanding the energy of speaking our truth. And part of speaking our truth is standing up for ourselves and saying, I am creating this life, not you, not any outside source. And this is what I want to see. Again, it comes back to 100% to our intuition and our manifestation, and us really tuning into those. So, yeah, it's just, it's funny, like the phrase I'm hearing is just take everything with a grain of salt, right? Everything that everybody is saying, um, because right now just there's just it's we're just inundated with information, some of it real, some of it not, some of it, you know, there's just, it's overwhelming. And I feel like it's more of a card about us not um, getting pulled into that frequency. And yeah, it's just, don't get pulled into that frequency. Try to get yourself out. As I mean, I get, like I said, there is a duality, and we do need the, you know, the fear right now that's being generated is to wake up a lot of other people. So if it really doesn't apply to you, try not to take it on. Um, I know it sounds weird to just be like, la la la, I'm just out in nature, ignoring everything, but it's not that. That's that context. That's not the context of that. It's like the context should be taken as I'm out in nature raising my vibration so that we can all collectively change that frequency, right? That's what I get from it anyway. All right, let's look at the week as a whole. Let's look at the beginning of the week, Monday to Wednesday-ish, kind of maybe a little bit of Thursday. Oh, interesting. Did we get that card last week or last energy read? I think we did. Huh, let's see what the other ones come up. Hang on one second here. Oops, see, it's funny to they're like super um, jumpy today. Even when I was doing cards for myself, they just were like flipping and jumping out, and I'm like, okay, they definitely have clear messages. Okay, I get what this part is. This is, it's interesting. This is just a little bit of self work this week. Oops, is it that one? Yeah. Oops, put that down. Oh, interesting. Okay, I got two again. Okay, so I'm 90% sure we had this card last time for the beginning of the week too. Um, it is what it is. As soon as this card comes up, it's like it's for me the instant reminder to like all of what is happening. We really are sort of powerless to kind of change that. It's gonna, it is what it is. It's gonna reveal open, and it's interesting too because this to me looks like a portal, and it is a double door, right? So how this all unfolds is, it's already written in the stars in history, and it's, we just have to like allow it to do its thing, and it is what it is. And we, you know, like, yeah, and some of it's horrible, and some of it's going to be hard to take, and some of it's amazing. And in the sense that like I think some of the things that are amazing is like as technology gets revealed that we thought was like 100 years off, but it's already implemented in a system, and we're like, whoa, like it's not all bad that's coming out of all of this revelation. And disclosure. So it is what it is. Just let it all play out. Um, it's easier than us trying to like get in there and get involved, and not even get involved, but spend our time. Like, you get involved by spending time being fearful or worried about it, right? So we don't want to be putting that energy in. We need to have a shift in ourselves, so we're not, it's not that we're not paying attention to that, right? What we take and get what we do, but then, then we ground ourselves and come back and then move to the next thing, right? Because our job is really um, we're supposed to be creating the new, but we can't do that if we're all mired in the muck and the. Ugh. Anyway, okay, I'm going to read this card first because it's kind of important. So it's this week too is the release card. It's like, you know, I mean, this one, I probably, you are at home reading it yourself. It's really easy to read. Um, all the death and destruction and grayness, and we're turned this way and crying. But if we just realized, if we just took a breath and turned around, and the light is coming in, the light is returning, everything's going to be fine. Um, so again, it's that releasing the old way, what's no longer serving us. The cemetery look is like, that's the old way. It's dead. It's gone. It's time for us to like let it go and move through. So whatever you can do to, and again, we're not spiritually bypassing and ignoring our feelings. We can be fearful. We just don't want to stay there. We can be sad. We can mourn everything that's going on. We should be doing all of those things. We're human. We have emotions, but we have to be very careful not to like wallow there and stay there, right? The rain is clearing. The sun is breaking through. So sometimes too, that card, I always like to say, is it's about turn around and look at things from a different perspective. And just getting all those cards about nature is like, that's maybe something to go take a look at. That oh, that looks like really, it, does it look like my head is like translucent? It does. It's weird. There's so many light codes coming but from a lamp. Maybe it's coming from here. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, anyway, if you can, what I'm seeing with these cards at the beginning of the week is if you can like triumph over fear, then our like, do not worry, your breakthrough is coming. All of our breakthrough is coming. And I love this card too because it's just like dynamic. It's like, boo, we're just gonna blow right through that wall and be on the other side of it. We can stop worrying about all the things, because whether that comes through a revelation in disclosure through the world and like the truth is coming out about everything, who we are, what we are really all about, um, we could see a really big breakthrough this week. And this might even just be personal, where you have your own breakthrough about seeing things for how it really is, right? All right, then we got two cards for the end of the week. They're kind of very different, but we're going to read both because usually, so the money card came up, so that could be something at the beginning of this week that is switching the way things are done. The card says finances, power, generosity, but I think the key word on there is abundance. Because I would say like probably 90% of our fear, when we really boil it down, it does come down to this current money system we're in, right? It's scarcity, it's lack. Whether you're worried about the price of gas or whatever, it's always kind of coming back to that. So there could be a breakthrough or a shift this week in that system. So just keep an eye on it. But the key thing is to continue focusing on abundance, and let's not focus primarily like on the dollar itself. So there could be a breakthrough in the way we make our money and how we save our money and how we run everything. Okay, hang on one second. Sorry, had to help out there. Okay. Anyway, then so yeah, just keep an eye out for that. I don't feel like it's going to be anything magnificent, but it might be like you might have a personal breakthrough about money and lag. I really feel like this is more. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but it's like maybe our mindsets are going to change. Like we're going to get something that's a. It doesn't mean the whole financial system's going to change, but there's going to be something about where it makes more sense to us, and we're like, wait a minute, I know how to manifest abundance. What I've been like, just like the epiphany might finally come to us. That's what I'm feeling more than any global shakeup. But be prepared because that's on the docket at some point. Okay, so we also got emotional balance. I think this is like the overall theme for this week is making sure we're really focusing on, like I said, regulating our nervous system, feeling our feelings, but not being overboard on either side. So this one is stability, harmony, peace, fluidity. And then you've got all these beautiful rainbow colors heading into the full chalice, right? That full emotional, not emotional, just like our cup runneth over kind of mentality, right? That's also the abundance thing. So the beginning part of this week is like really just making sure you're like the I think our best way to guard ourselves is to making sure we've regulated the nervous system and that we're in a good emotional state because uh, breakthrough wise the information or whatever comes through I really am really drawn to the stability and peace and harmony. So we could see some things resolved this week which we thought were going to take forever, but yeah, I don't think so. I think there's going to be lots of really positive shifts this week. So that's just at the beginning of the week. So that's a lot going on for 3 days. But at, I said, yeah, ever since we did time change on the weekend, so I don't know if you still have to do that, but ever since then, it's like I look up and it's like 5 o'clock. I'm like, it seems like everything's moving even faster than it was before. And I'm just like, what is happening? Anyway, so that seems to be the beginning part of the week. We'll see how that plays out. Hang on, let's look at the end of the week. What we've got going on energetically. Yeah, I know it's a lot right now, and I think the big thing is our self, and I say self care, but do I want all four of these cards? That's a lot of cards. That's too many cards. It's actually 6 cards. That's too many. We just need one, please. Yeah, so it's just really important that we're staying on top of that stuff. Whoops. Sorry, this it just keeps fluffing a bunch of cards. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of so far like self work this week. Oh, we got that again. Okay. Yeah, so just because some cards are coming back up, um, I think just it's really important. It's yeah. So yes, I'm reading this part of the spread is supposed to be the second part of the week. We keep getting like 6 and 7 of these cards, so um, it's pretty much saying the same thing. So, but we'll go through this card by card. So it's just like basically everything I'm about to say, like that I was intending to be for the end of the week, is like now it's like this is the whole week. So let's just chat about it. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to read this card because it came up again. So the card we got again for out of this deck was the release card. So yeah, so it's not just a Monday to Wednesday kind of thing. We're going to be working on this all week. Really, really taking not taking charge, but just understanding it's time for us to like come out of that lower fear energy and move forward. Which one? We also got the emotions card. I'm going to read these backwards because the those ones are definitely sort of more of a advice. emotions, feelings, expression, moods, balance. And this one is like all the emotions at once. So you know, that card is probably depicting just how we're feeling right now. So it's interesting because it's like, yeah, we want to regulate our that emotional system and create balance in it, but it's like make sure you are feeling all the feelings too. That we're not, you know, it's funny though, the very last word on this card is balance, right? So we're trying to get ourselves regulated and into some kind of emotional balance this week. So again, if you've been spending too much time facing the wrong direction, wallowing in the old and the sad and the gray, like every, and it's also raining in this card. She's like soaking wet. So if you basically what they're saying is it's like I just heard the phrase turn that frown upside down, which I hate that phrase, but anyway, it's it's up to you, right? You can sit there in this and rightfully so. Let's have a little bit of grief because there's a lot going on and there's a lot to grieve. Let it flow, let it go, and then turn around and see the new day coming. The light is coming in. It's there for us to take, to shift to those better feeling emotions. It's coming. So the outsider card too we also got is this one's always funny too because I always say this is like, you know, it's kind of like this card. It's like if you just turn around, everything's and the suppression card I think we got last week. This card's pretty much the same thing. It's like, oh, look at this colorful, beautiful world on the other side, and the child's like, oh, I'm outside. I can't participate in that. But if you look really close, that lock is not locked. It's open. So again, we're kind of chaining ourselves in and making ourselves the outsider. I can't participate in that. I don't know how to do that. I'm not special. I don't have any intuition or, you know, special abilities. All the stories we'll tell ourselves to keep us on saying we're on the outside and that in that victim mentality, but we're not. It's like, but you know, it's going to take you some time to undo. Even the lock you just pull off, you're not going to get the gate open because the chain's wrapped through it. So you got to do a little bit of the work and break the chains off, or pull them off, or unravel them. So that's part of the message for this week then too, is unravel those chains and open that gate. Okay, we also got 3 of these cards, so we're going to go through. Um, so these come up as advice, right? The first one is the willing release. So I mean, it's no different than this card. It's just like, but this one's the one thing I like about willing release is it's all the little dandelion puffballs. So what do we do with those? Like if we make wishes on them and then we blow and let the wishes go out, right? So this is a little bit about wishing, like the messaging coming through to get us out of that lower energy is to be creating new and dreaming of new and wishing for the new and all of those. So make sure you're wishing upon something. Stars, dandelion puffs, whatever you want to manifest. We got to be doing that work, right? So um, willingly release that stuff. We also got a deep breath. So it's part of that whole thing, like I said at the beginning, is like it's really important we're regulating our nervous system right now. Doing breath work, doing meditation, floating, I don't know, swimming, being out in nature, just really focusing on those because it's super important right now that, you know, that we're taking care of this because we're being bombarded with energy that we need to like transmute and balance, right? Um, and the big one we got is the spirit of gratitude. So again, just going back, and that's why nature is always good too, because it's just like, thank you for this tree, and thank you for this bird that just landed and you know spoke to me, and all of those things. So yeah, pretty much it's 1 week all the same, working on these things, working on our emotions, um, putting them into balance. That's, I think, creating balance. It's funny because create, it's on my wall right there. It's my company motto, like for my massage practice, is create balance. Like the key thing is that it's all about you. We create that balance. We have to create that balance, right? So if we're the only person that's keeping us behind that gate or wrapped in chains or suppressed in any way is us. There is no suppression that's actually happening to us. So we are completely in control of what we manifest and what's about to come. So it's really important that, and so if we're in that low energy and those low emotions, and we're stuck there, it's really, really important that we're finding the way out. So find the way out this week. We're not going to be outsiders anymore. We aren't outsiders. We never were. I mean, that's that's the crux of the whole thing, right? Is we've always been led to believe that we are separate from God and that we have to work really hard to get back to that, and none of that is true, right? There's no lock. There's a lock. It ain't done up though. So just get it. Start working on unraveling it. I feel like it's like once you start this week to unravel those chains that bind us, you'll find that we're free by the end of this week. So wow, I like it. Let's break those chains. Let's have that breakthrough moment, um, and keep taking care of yourself because it's really important right now. All right, I just want to do one. I'm just going to do one of these Ascended Masters. Yeah, Ascended Master card. I just want to see if there's like a good energy for all of us to kind of, you know, um, uh, not attached to kind of call on this week. Yeah. Okay. So, Hilarion, divine healing. Honor your sensitivity, honor your emotions, retreat to recharge and heal in nature, preferably. Your light can support others. Interesting. So, yeah, make sure you're taking the time and doing the healing. And the healing in this starts with ourselves, right? We get ourselves in alignment first. As always, nobody, it's I'll just keep saying this, the airplane analogy. If you haven't put your oxygen mask on first, you're no good to everybody else. So let's get healed. Let's get healing. Are you ready to heal? And again, nature is the easiest way for that connection to start flowing. So I think that's all I want to do. Maybe one tree. Let's do one tree magic this week. Just one. Oh, right there. The mulberry tree. Undermining influences destroy themselves by destroying their host. Good times and good fortune now return. It's that card of like, hey, not to worry. Everything's going to be all right. I think we got that right at the beginning, right? So have faith, take care of yourself, and this week should be hopefully a little bit easier for us all. Okay, we'll see you next week.